I'm gonna tell you what manifestation is and what it ain't. And we're gonna start with this word that everybody fucking hates: responsibility. So I'm filming this outside, and yeah, it might be a little windy, but that's okay. I'm making, as all manifestation coaches, and yes, I guess that's what I am. I thought I was a creative consultant, but according to everybody, I either do belief audits for, got inner spiritual. Apparently, that is manifestation coaching. Okay, um, but the point is, I'm doing my, as everyone in the space gotta do, their all encompassing video, and I'm gonna tell you what manifestation is and what it ain't. And we're gonna start with this word that everybody fucking hates: responsibility. So, responsibility is not obligations you gotta sacrifice for. And the first thing that you sacrifice is creativity. Interesting how that's the first thing to go, but that's literally what human beings are made to do: create. So, when you have these responsibilities, these obligations, you are sacrificing the only thing that could solve any problem you could ever have. But that's actually another video. But I'm gonna tell you what responsibility actually is. Responsibility is understanding that you're a human being and you're the only thing that has a conscious, subconscious mind and a soul that you could be aware of at any point. That's another thing that comes with responsibility, knowing you have awareness, and whatever you are aware of, you get more of. That's the reticular activating system. If you see a bunch of red cars and you say, all I see is red cars, you would get more red cars. That's what I mean. But notice how that can be applied not just to red cars, but to terrible ex girlfriends, to jobs you hate, to the money that you don't have or want. Yeah, that's responsibility. But I'm gonna take this a step further. Responsibility is the I am, which is your identity. And I know people say, oh, you get what you are, but I'm not saying that as a gimmick. I'm saying that as for real. Neuroscience, psychology, quantum physics, metaphysics, all of these are sciences that back up that is literally how everything works. You do get more of what you are. You are scientifically wired that way in your brain, your body. The body does keep score of good and bad things. Which, caveat, if you think that you forget stuff or you don't know how to get back to those glory days, understand that within you. You are simply just not aware of them anymore, and you need to ask yourself why. Did something crazy happen? Did that trauma tell you I need to go back into being small? I don't know. Because this ain't the video for that. Because we're just here to talk about manifestation, not how to heal all the things that have been manifesting so far. But back to responsibility. Since your responsibility is your awareness, is your I am, is your ability to create at all, is your ability to manifest more of what you are, which is the path of least resistance. So even if you feel like everything in your life you hate and it's resisting you, babe, it is so easy for you to get that than anything else. That is the only reason why you have it. That's the path of least resistance, literally. But if any of this sounds confusing and you feel like self help don't work for you, affirmations feel like lying to yourself, you tried all the methods but nothing worked, that is because you didn't change inside. If you're doing affirmations but you don't feel anything emotionally outside of bad, you're only going to manifest bad. Simple as that. And also, you have to understand that anything I could ever tell you or anybody else could tell you about manifestation is in the first movie, book, show, game, whatever piece of fiction you thought was oh so great, that has all the answers you could ever need to anything. And that's why I do what I do. That's why I call what I do fiction alchemy, because everything goes back to the first story. That's where you had the key to everything. You just didn't realize it yet. Or maybe you did. You know that book that you thought about over and over, and you know all the characters, you know all the conflict, you ready to blow somebody's head off if they say something crazy that's completely against everything you know about that thing? Well, buddy, that is your manifestation tool. That was it. That was the key to your problems. You know, I actually heard on LinkedIn Gary Vee, he made a video talking about how a lot of people could have could have easily be retiring earlier if, for example, if you love Friends and you can talk about the Ross and Rachel thing for days on end, and you do that with like your wife or your partner or your husband late at night, y'all just go in on Friends every single night. That should have been a podcast, and you should have been paid for that. And I'm not saying we all need to have podcasts, and that's the case, but your responsibility, that R word again, isn't the obligations you sacrifice your creativity or your interest to. It's leaning more into those interests, creating structure around them, and then literally using them to keep following your excitement and survive. So now you're not just surviving, you're thriving. But hey, we like to think we have responsibility to do all these other things and not our most innate selves, our inner child, whatever you want to call it. That's manifestation.